Welcome back, my business building warriors. In today's video, or if you're listening on Spotify, that's great as well, working out, taking a run, whatever it may be, I wanted to hit the topic of overcomplication because you're looking for something that isn't there. And this sounds a bit esoteric, but let me dive a bit deeper. Many entrepreneurs, they somewhere deep in their conscious mind know how simple it is to grow their business, but because they refuse to do the work, or they refuse to be patient, or they refuse the idea that it's been simple all along and they've been making it too complex because who knows why, they refuse to do the simple things that actually move the needle. So in today's video, I wanted to address this problem, and it's going to be extremely short, but I wanted to sort of set out to break this idea that in order to scale from point A to point B, let's say from 0 to 10,000 a month, or from 10 to 100, or 100 to 200, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, man, that there's some piece of knowledge that you need. And this is probably true, I would say 5 to 10% of the time. Okay? Maybe 20% of the time. And, I don't even proclaim that in our consulting company when we're helping people grow that we sell knowledge. We don't sell knowledge. That's far from what we sell. And if you're interested in what we do, you're welcome to watch our free training. The link is down below. We walk you through all of our clients we've worked with, the millionaires we've created, the incredible success stories that have come out of what we do. I'm so proud of the team and what they've been able to accomplish for our clients. But knowledge isn't the thing. The reality is business is simple. Business is simple. What is it to run a business? Well, you have a product or a service, and you are selling it to people that want the product or service more than they want the money in order to buy it. It's, simple idea, right? Now, of course, we can get more in depth. We can get into taxes. We can get into like team building, marketing, leadership, self-development, these other areas. But the reality is, if all you're trying to do, man, is get to multiple 5 figures a month in profit, more than likely, you've taken the idea of getting there and made it complex in your own head because you refuse to accept that it's as simple as booking meetings with clients, meaning getting on social media, putting out content, running ads, may it be, and taking calls from these clients and actually getting on those calls and talking to these people about their problems and offering them solutions to their problems via the means of your product or your service. So truthfully, it is that simple. And I've grown my business, at the age of 21 to a point where we had our first $100,000 profit single month within 30 days, $100,000 in profit in January, which was an incredible experience. And I can tell you I've had to weave and dodge my way through the industry of new strategies, tactics, methods, masterminds, stuff like that to really just get to the fact that the core of business is I just have to have one good offer and get sales calls for it. And that's about it. The $100,000 a month KPIs that we train our clients on when they join our program, we help them understand that it's really just 3 to 5 sales calls a day, at least a 25 to 30% close rate depending on the week, okay? An offer that is at least $5,000 in lifetime value. So, you're collecting at least $5,000 from your client. Maybe it's split across 3 months or, 30 days, or maybe $5,000 up front, whatever it may be. And that's about it. That's about as simple as it gets. And you might be thinking, well, that $5,000 trade, that's not a beginner price. I get this comment. I had somebody, I'm going to call his name out, this guy named Christian. He's all over all the internet marketer channels. He just bashes and bashes and bashes. I'm like, gosh, dude, just go grow your business, man. But he's like, Trey, $5,000 isn't a beginner price tag. And I saw that comment and I was like, man, that word beginner is so limiting. And I honestly feel bad for this guy because the reality is, he's told himself that he's a beginner, and he has this idea of being a beginner, like being a beginner somehow limits your ability to grow your business. I'm a beginner, dude. I'm always a beginner, and I will always be a beginner because there's always a next stage. And the fact is, no matter how big I grow my business, even $50 million a year, I'm still a beginner because there's people doing 50 billion. There's people doing way more than 50 million. There's people doing 500 million. There's people doing 50 million a month. So it's like, really, who's the beginner? $10,000 a month, still a beginner. $100,000 a month, still a beginner. It's all about perspective, man. But this $5,000 price tag, people see it and they think, oh, I can't do that because I'm not qualified. Reality is, you don't need any qualifications. You need to solve a $5,000 problem in your market. What is that? And you can ask just some simple questions. You can ask things like, what is my market's biggest pain point? Or really not even their biggest pain point. You can ask a better question, which would be, where does my market truly want to arrive? Where do they want to get to? Because when you're asking pain points, you're assuming a lot, but you don't have to assume so much in order to assume where they want to arrive. So, okay, let's ask, where does my market want to arrive? Where is it that they desire to go at the end of the day? What's a day in their dream life, let's say? Okay, now we can reverse engineer that and come up with some core pain points from there. So now we ask, okay, what are 3 problems that we can kind of assume, or maybe ask in our market in Facebook groups by interviewing people, whatever. What are those things that, the problems that we can solve, or we can attempt to solve? Maybe we don't know how to solve them right now, but what were the problems that we'd have to solve to get them to that dream day? What would that look like? Okay, now we have a bit more of a picture. Okay, now we can ask for each of those problems, what's 1 to 3 deliverables that we can bring to our clients, whether it's our expertise, a contractor that we know, a coach that we know, somebody that's done it themselves that we can bring onto the team and pay commission, who knows? But what's 1 to 3 deliverables for those pain points, for those problems, so that we can start to know what our list of deliverables is. And now we're not selling based on what we do or our list of deliverables. We're selling because we're trying to create that dream day for our market. So I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent. But the reason I went on that tangent is because I want you to understand that building a $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 offer is not hard, and you can see an interview with one of our clients who was charging $700 a month. Within a week of joining us, he's charging $10,000 up front for a consulting offer because we had him ask these questions and come up with the solutions himself. So, business is simple. Business is not complex. More than likely, as a business owner, you are introducing complexity into your life and into your business because you, A, feel unworthy of your goals. And this is a hard reality for a lot of entrepreneurs to hear. You probably feel unworthy of your goals. You're not convinced that your goals are even worth achieving. You're not convinced that you deserve to achieve your goals because of your past, because you haven't forgiven yourself for things you've done in your past, because you still have a broken self-image, because you still associate who you are now with some of the mistakes you've made in the past. You don't consider yourself a learner. You consider yourself a failure. You haven't failed. You are a failure. 2 very different ways of viewing things, man. So that's the first thing. Second thing, and again, I'm just pulling from experience I've seen with clients. This isn't just opinion. This is me pulling from experience with the 500 plus business owners that I've gotten the chance to get to work with and help grow. Okay, so the next thing, other than a self-image issue, is you think for some reason, and this is just sort of the viral, sort of cancerous nature of the business coaching industry, the self-development industry, whatever it may be that you're in, you think that there's a strategy missing. You think that you need to learn something in order to get to where you want to get. And again, like I said, this is probably true some of the time. But reality is, if you have one good strategy, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw me say this, a imperfect plan executed with certainty is better than a perfect plan executed with uncertainty. Let me say that again. Imperfect plan with certainty better than perfect plan with uncertainty. You're going to learn a lot more in the process of going all in a direction that you're uncertain about than you will trying to find the right direction before you go all in. This is with the coach that you choose to invest into. This is with the business model you choose to go through with. This is with the person you choose to marry. This is with a lot of things, especially as free-thinking men and women in a modern free market economy. The amount of opportunities we have in store for us on the other side of accepting the fact that they are in store for us is obscene, to the point where there's a market and an industry being made out of helping you realize what those opportunities are, and that's where I believe I stand. So, to bring this all around to a point and get you to take action, don't overthink it. Get to work, start taking what I like to call imperfect action, and watch that imperfect action become perfect via time, iteration through failure, and learning things the hard way, as I have many times, and I want to make a video soon. Past 3 years, my biggest failures as an entrepreneur. I think it's going to be a very vulnerable video, and I'm looking forward to making it. Reality is, you have to get moving. And if I'm going to give you a couple key things to optimize your life and your business for, optimize your time for freedom of choice. Okay, freedom of choice. What are you going to do with your time? Who are you going to spend it with? How are you going to spend it? Optimize your business for sales calls. Get those calls in the door. Get them coming. And taking the calls. And then client results. Those are the only things you have to think about. Client results, taking calls, conducting the calls. I've literally said this for the past like 2 years. If you looked at our very version 1 beginner like education program, we start off the program by saying, look, this is literally all we're doing for you. We're going to help you get calls, take those calls and sell, and then get better at getting client results. And that formula hasn't changed. That is the doggone formula. That is what it takes to scale to any level you want to scale to. My buddies over, they've got and I reference these guys because they've got more revenue than I do, and people, they see that as having more authority, and I understand that because, business is about making money. But these guys connected. There's a software company here locally. I love everybody that leads the company. I spent a lot of time with their leadership. Devin Johnston is kind of the CEO. My buddy Elliot Drake, he and I go way back. He's the CMO. And they do about 15 to 20 million a year, if I'm correct. And legitimately, that's the exact same formula. It's how do we get more sales calls? How do we sell better? And how do we get clients a better experience and a better results at the end of the day? That's it. And they've scaled a company to $20 million a year just thinking about those three things. So, hopefully my $1 million a year is enough proof, but the reality is it's all you got to do. And if that sounds complex, it's because maybe you don't know how to sell. Maybe you don't know how to get clients results. Maybe you don't know how to even get those calls, and that's again where we come in. So you're welcome to check out our free training. The link is in the description regarding how to start and grow your business. The title of the training is something like how we've helped over 500 business owners, many of which scaling to multiple 6 figures a year, a few of which scaling to 7 figures a year by implementing, again, those three things, keeping it very simple along the way. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Very short, very sweet one. Just wanted to get this out of the way and get a piece of content going out for today. I'm really feeling it. I moved back into my new old apartment. This is actually the old place with the stairs. It's literally the exact same setup, other than the fact that I now have these really cool stairs shooting down right here. So if you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you like the aesthetic here. That's probably the main reason why I did it. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Love you all. Have a great day. Get back to killing it, and see you later.